Hi, my name's Avery Hill.
Hi, I'm Kendall Bryant. Nice to meet you.
Here's a copy of my resume.
Thank you. And so it says here you're applying for the equine veterinary technician spot we have open.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Let me just take a look at your resume, and it says here that you've worked or you went to Texas A&M University. Did
Yes.
you finish your 4 years there?
I'm still a student. I'm in my sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. It says here that your experience you've done hoofprint stichotherapy in Florida.
Yes.
What all did you do with that?
Okay, so my boss was a occupational therapist, and she performed horse-centered therapy on children with disabilities, and my main tasks were handling horses while she was performing therapy, basic barn care, managing kids, delegating other things to other workers. Working as a team was a very big part of that job.
Okay, sounds good. And then you work for your university's Equine Nutrition and Reproduction Center. Do you want to tell me anything about that?
I've been working there for almost 2 years now, and it has been probably the most beneficial job for me, learning skills with handling horses, working equipment like tractors, and just doing basic barn work. And I've gotten the opportunity to handle a bunch of foals, stallions, learn how to restrain foals, learn how to medicate, and treat wounds and stuff. So it's been a really great learning experience for me, that I've taken skills from that job that I feel like I can really apply to any other area.
Okay, good. And then what made you interested in applying for this job, or why exactly do you want to apply for our position here that we have open?
I've been wanting to apply here because I'm looking to get some experience under a veterinarian. Since I have experience handling horses, I thought that a specific
Equine center.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I figured that would apply well to my skill set, and that I'd be beneficial to your business as well. I also, since I have general knowledge of wound treatment and medication for animals, I want to learn more on that and expand my knowledge in real world, because I'm learning a lot in classes, but I want to be able to expand it by actually using those skills.
Yes. Absolutely. And then what do you want to get out of your professional life within the equine world?
I'm looking for a job that will not only give me an opportunity to learn constantly, but a job that will help me feel like I'm really contributing to that place. I feel like I bring a variety of great skills to the workplace, where I'm great at working with other people, I'm great at working with animals, and I have a real passion for doing any sort of job that's just, centered around doing those things. I've also, since I've developed those skills in my old job, I've seriously felt like I've just become a better candidate now at this place in my life.
Absolutely. Okay. And then we talked about some of your strengths just now. Do you have any more strengths you want to talk about? Maybe any weaknesses that you want to bring to light in here?
Yes, I've also felt like I'm pretty good at communicating and delegating tasks. One of the tasks I had at both of my jobs that I worked before applying here is that I was in charge of training new employees, like how to handle a horse in this situation, or how to drive a tractor, or what we do on the day-to-day, and helping with feeding, and because all those things can be very hard for a new person to learn, especially if they don't have horse experience. So I feel like I've become great at communicating on in a way that people who might be new to things or might not understand what's going on, and I feel like that will apply greatly to working with a veterinarian, because then I can communicate to an animal's owners that what's really going on in a way that they can understand.
Absolutely. Okay. And then what have you done to prepare, other than you go to Texas A&M University, you worked for the Hose for Healing, and then you worked at your equine center for the university. What outside of those have you done to prepare for this job, and then what skills or attributes do you believe would apply you for a good part of this job?
I've also attended a few of the Texas A&M's pre-vet society meetings. I don't have the work schedule right now to be able to be a standing member, but I take the time to get involved with things on campus like that, so that I can expand my knowledge more and get lectures from real world workers in the equine industry. I've also taken the time to work towards my equine certificate at Texas A&M. So I'm taking a bunch of classes that involve equine nutrition or the equine industry. A big one that I'm learning is equine reproduction, where we actually get to foal out a horse. I haven't taken the class yet, but I'm hoping to next semester. So
very good, very good. And then, how do you think you can help our team or work group towards like the overall company goal?
I would love to be able to just contribute to creating a positive work environment. I feel like I have a great ability to get along with people, and so I very rarely have any sort of workplace conflict with anyone. I get along well with my coworkers. I very much like being instructed, so I feel like I can contribute to like your day-to-day tasks and just take some of those tasks off your hands, and I can be that person that you can depend on to get things done if you are having a very busy day or there's something going wrong with a patient or something like that.
Okay, absolutely. And then going hand in hand with what you just said, what would you do if you did have a conflict, say with another technician or a veterinarian? How would you handle that conflict within your workplace?
Firstly, I would not try to address it at the workplace unless it became an issue that was affecting the way we worked. And if it did go that far, I would probably talk to you or another manager that's in charge that would be able to, delegate me in a way that, how can I work around this? How can I avoid this sort of conflict? I'm very non-confrontational. I'll never start a fight in a workplace. I don't think that it's a great idea to do that, because I think that, having a positive work environment not only helps everything get done faster, but it also reflects on the company as a whole. And so if we have a client watching us argue or something, then I would never want, that sort of experience to be what they see for your company.
Absolutely. And then how do you respond when faced with a challenge?
I'm very competitive, so when I'm challenged by something, I do everything I can to learn about the challenge, and then I apply what I've learned to solving that task. A lot of jobs that are involved in agriculture, or the ones that I've worked have required me to be, hey, I'm out alone in a pasture and I need to figure out how I'm going to get this mare past all the 6 other ones that are crowded by the gates without letting them out, or how can I vaccinate this horse while I'm out in the pasture without it freaking out on me because it's a young horse, So a lot of the experience that I have has taught me how to be a very quick, on-the-spot problem solver.
Okay, very nice. And then can you tell me about a recent problem that you've had to overcome, say at your job with the horses, and just, like I said, how you overcame it within that time frame?
Absolutely. We did have a horse that had a bad experience going to the stocks at one point, and she injured herself, and was just overall, it was a negative experience for her, and she had a very hard time around people in general for a few weeks after the experience, and then even longer than that. She never wanted to go to the stocks, and it was just a very negative environment for her. And one of the challenges I faced was that I had witnessed her being aggressive towards people because of that, fear that she had of going to the stocks and of people in general because of that experience. And I had to overcome that fear of that specific horse because she was, being aggressive. And I was like, okay, if I just be calm, then she'll be calm and we can just work through this together instead of, getting scared and trying to force through it,
Okay, yeah, exactly. And then just one last question I have for you. What are your short-term and long-term goals, and how do you see our business fitting into those goals in the near, say, 5 years?
Short term, my goal right now and in applying to this job is to, get my foot in the door with veterinary medicine. I've worked with horses, I've, done the barn work, but I would love to do more of the actual veterinary work. And I'd like to, get my ability to manage medicines and wounds and stuff like that up to a knowledge where I feel comfortable applying for vet school. And then once I get into vet school, I would love to maybe look into becoming a veterinarian or a partner at your business.
Okay, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Hill. It was very nice
Thank you very
interviewing
much.
you. I hope you have a great rest of your day.